compromise at the bathhouses. There goes Rubio, a little punk. Anyways, you gotta love people that come from authoritarian regimes, and then they don't even appreciate America.
So freedom of speech, what do you make of it?
Well, the reality is that this issue is a lot more complicated than most people understand. On the one hand, Facebook has an absolute right to kick these people off of its platform, and the vile speech in which they engage causes harm in the real world. On the other hand, there's a risk that Facebook embracing the power to decide who gets to speak and who doesn't get to speak in the largest online discourse ever constructed is a dangerous proposition. The idea that a single company will decide these questions will create a risk that others whose opinions we value more than, say, Alex Jones will also get silenced. Over the last few years, we've certainly seen indications that Facebook gets content moderation wrong all the time. They take down speech that most reasonable people think shouldn't be taken down, and they leave up other speech that a lot of people think should be taken down. These are very, very hard decisions. There's also the risk, though, that the focus on these episodic, spectacular instances of censorship by Facebook distracts from what may be a more significant form of content moderation that Facebook engages in every day. And that is the decision they make every time you open your Facebook feed to show you some content and not other content. This algorithmic prioritization is a much more significant form of content moderation that Facebook engages in, but we know relatively little about it, and yet it may ultimately decide who gets seen and who doesn't get seen online.
Every time we die, they give us a symbol, no substance.
Whether we should distrust the social media companies in the same way we distrust the government, that's the existential question of our time. Are the social media companies stand-ins for the government in this particular context? And I think it's a very hard question. Facebook is clearly the largest public forum ever formed. They have 2.3 or 4 billion users, over 200 million in the United States alone. And they're responsible in large measure for the viral spread of the views of people like Alex Jones. And it's worth dwelling on that for a second. Alex Jones is not influential in our society because he's persuasive. He's influential because Facebook's algorithms have decided to propagate his views widely on the basis of their design to promote user engagement. And that decision that Facebook has made to improve or amplify voices that promote engagement results in voices like Alex Jones's being spread so widely. Anything that may seem sensational or controversial or provocative, Facebook may at the end of the day have a financial motive to spread that information widely. If people engage with it, the idea goes, that's an indication that it's content that they find valuable and want to engage in. And that underlying decision, which is fundamentally a business one on the part of Facebook, has not gotten the attention it should get, in part because we've been so focused in the public debate on the question of whether Alex Jones should be off or on the platform, and less focused on the question of whether he should appear at the top of your news feed or at the bottom of it. I think Facebook has competing business motives here. There have been many, many people calling for people like Alex Jones to be kicked off the platform, and so it's not surprising that the companies are responding to pressure from the rest of their users to clean up the platform. The concern is that as soon as Facebook embraces the role of censor, there'll be pressure on it to censor more and more, and that it'll get it wrong over time. And historically, those who will bear the burden disproportionately of that censorship will be marginalized communities. Today it's Alex Jones, but tomorrow it may be a marginal voice that we value a lot more than, say, Alex Jones. Here, Facebook is an entirely private actor, and they are entirely free within their legal rights to decide who is on the platform and who isn't. So the question that we're talking about isn't a constitutional one, it's not a legal one, it's really a policy one. It's a question about what free speech means broadly in a society like ours. And it's a complicated one, and one where people are going to have different views, and the ultimate answer is likely not going to be Facebook should censor or Facebook shouldn't censor. The question will be, what do we mean by censorship online, and what level of it are we willing to tolerate with what safeguards for the inevitable mistakes that will happen.